Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. Today I will be finishing off last week's Christmas illustration. If you haven't already seen last week's video, I will leave it up in the corner somewhere and down in the description if you would like to check it out. Obviously this is not my usual day of posting. I also explained that in last week's video if you care to know why. So let's get into the video. So I believe I did explain what's going on in this illustration last week. I can't actually remember what I said last week. If I didn't, well, that's embarrassing. But if I did, it would be embarrassing to re-explain everything. So I'm just not going to say anything about it. So what I will be doing in today's video will be finishing off my OC Hannah, which I have actually redesigned on this channel if you care to check out the video. But it's really boring, so you probably don't want to. But anyway, I will leave that also up in the corner and down in the description if you want to. I will also be finishing off some of the things that are empty, like the floor, the fireplace, the Christmas tree, and right now everything is out of focus. But anyway, I am doing this in watercolor pencils and just plain watercolor. Essentially, I normally just use a mixture of different mediums for most of my illustrations because I just like using the best of all things. Like for small details, I'll use pencils because it's easier. But the downside to pencils is that you can't mix your own colours really, and it's kind of annoying. And also there's like the streaky line problem. So for that, I use watercolour. For large areas, I use watercolour. To blend, I use watercolour pencils so I can blend them together. But I do have a lot of just normal pencils that I sometimes use as well. I also kind of like acrylic. I have done quite a few paintings and illustrations in acrylic. But I generally use watercolour on camera, I think, but you could probably find quite a few videos I've done acrylic instead. But the thing with acrylic, I'm incredibly impatient, I cannot wait for acrylic to dry. It takes forever. I know it's like quicker than oil paints. That's a problem. I don't think I could stand oil paints. I find it hard enough to deal with acrylics not drying quick enough, and sometimes even watercolor not drying quick enough because I put too much water on the page. So yeah. I really should try and learn how to be less impatient, but we're going to pretend that isn't the problem. For the Christmas tree, I was wondering if I should go with just plain watercolor or with the pencil, because it's quite a large area, but then there's like the little baubles, and I don't want to like smudge any of the baubles because they're like red, and that's the opposite of green, so that would just make a brown mess on the tree, and that's not what you want. So I decided to go for a pencil so I could like colour in colour around the baubles, and it didn't look too sloppy or too smudgy or whatever. And also normally I would try and shade in some of the dresses, some of the background, but since this was taking quite a long time and there was quite a lot of small details, and it was quite hard to go into some of the small details with a lot of shading because it's kind of hard. It just is for me anyway. But so I left most of it unshaded. There's a little bit of shading, obviously, trying to make the like arms and stuff, the things that overlap, not look too similar. So like things that are a bit darker in certain areas, just so they don't look too similar, and you can tell that there's two things and not just one big lump, because that sometimes happens. So that's what I tried to do with some of the stockings, some of the tops, jumpers, and etc. With the tree, I tried a little bit, but then I gave up pretty quickly. So with the floor, I was thinking kind of like a brown colour originally, and then I felt like I wanted it all to be Christmas colours, and I felt like I don't really want brown there. So I went with red, but like obviously red was way too similar to the carpet. So the carpet was kind of more pinky, so I went with the deep red. I kind of wish I just went with brown, but you know, it's not digital art and I can't really change it. Also, I find that I really should switch off any YouTube videos that are on in the background, because this happens every single video. I get distracted, then it takes longer, and yeah. Also, then it's the boring part of like editing out every single time. I stop for like half an hour watching whatever's on the screen. Like, just stop. We're supposed to be doing art. But anyway, this is where there's some problem here. The red of the floor looks incredibly similar to the red of the plant pot and the red of the dress. The dress is a little bit higher off, so you can kind of get away with it. You can kind of tell this is obviously not her entire dress, but also like the plant pot looks very similar, which is a bit annoying. It looks even worse on camera than it does in real life. I find that happens all the time. Like with camera, you don't really pick up quite the same feel, or like say you have glitter on a painting, it doesn't really pick that up that well, or like the matte textures or things, but it does definitely pick up every streak, or like goes out of focus and stuff, and you can't see the details, but you can see the streaks of my art. It's like, it looks so much worse on camera. Yeah, I guess that's something you have to kind of deal with. It's never going to look quite the same. So then I wanted to do the walls colour. I was really thinking going for like a pink colour, but then I felt like it would make it feel like I want this to be able to be a room that like I can make other illustrations that aren't Christmas related and use this exact same setup and everything. But the thing is, I feel like pinks would just feel a little bit too much, so I went with blue. It's kind of cool, and also it is like a cool colour and the rest of it is a warm colour, making everyone else kind of stand out, except for the bum. But I chose I chose red for the floor, and now the tree looks like it's kind of growing out the floor, not out of the plant pot. But anyway, I'm going to try and be positive now. I feel like sometimes I talk a lot, like really badly about my art. Like, I do like this illustration. Like, I like it. But I pick up all the small annoying things that I make mistakes on. So this is something that it would be fun to do it again. Maybe I'll do it next year. I don't know. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys next week. And have a Merry Christmas, everyone. Goodbye.